hello there. Can't believe it's Thursday already. Getting ready for the live show, and I thought I would turn up just a little bit early so I can have a chat with you guys pre-show. We've got Peter Youngs in. David Hunter is there. David, I'm loving the remixes you are doing. You are literally doing so many amazing jingle remixes. David Silk there, moderating. Thank you, David. Appreciate everything you do. Pete is there. Good to see you. Mark Reed as well. Come and announce yourself if you're here early. Let me know who you are and where you are watching live from right now. It'll be good to hear. Francoise is in there. Hello. Rafco Nater, nice to see you. Always nice to be in a bit early. 4 minutes and 13 seconds to go. Of course, if you're watching on the replay, you can fast forward to the content. Best practices for recording podcast interviews today. So those of you who have a podcast, or if you've got any podcasting mates, invite them in. Paul Orr is here. Hey, Paul from Tennessee. Did an amazing jingle. Paul, I have played your jingle the last couple of shows. I'm loving it so much for the phone-in number. Awesome, awesome stuff. Really, really like it. So thank you for that. GCFX Radio. That is Anthony, watching from Florida. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from right now. Marielda, hi, hello from Italy. Hassan is in from Norway, nice to see you. Paige, welcome back, good to see your name here again. Good morning, back again from Grand Cayman. Great to see you there. David, I love your stuff. It's just, what are you going to do next? That's what I'm wondering. For those of you that don't know, David is very active over in the community at community.musicradiocreative.com with all kinds of interesting creators. Rafco is watching from Austria. I believe Pete is watching from Austria as well. We have quite a few viewers in Austria and Germany as well. Robert is back again. Good to see you back, Robert. Good day from Germany. Ah, David announcing the MRC Queen. I think she's the Empress. Isabella is here, keeping me on track. She'll be giving me a sharp kick if I go off topic today. Being told that it's a bit naughty when I do that. David Lewis, nice to see you. Thank you, I do my best with answers in the community. Glad it helped. My pleasure, Paul. Anthony here, and he says, thanks for your audio and video. OBS is wonderful. We're talking about OBS Studio for live streaming. You're going to go live on Friday night. Wow, awesome. Nice stuff. Mr. Mega Radio UK. I'm doing good. Doing good. Rafco Nater. Moo. Moo. I like that comment. That's very nice. Dimitri's in from Ukraine. Nice to see you. Yes, Isabella is the tiny fairy who comes in and taps me on the shoulder. Those of you who didn't catch yesterday's show, I was making fairy voiceovers and sound effects using Isabella's lovely voice. She has got a fairy voice when she likes to. If I could recommend one Waves audio plugin, which would it be? My goodness me. One Waves audio plugin. I know, hold that thought and I'll tell you when I go live. Just remind me if I forget. Alright, stand by. Here we go. Getting ready. Just over 1 minute and we're live!
Testing the left speaker. Left. Testing the right speaker. Right. Testing phaser. All frequency sweep. Now. Stand by for Music Radio Creative Live with Mike Russell. MRC Live. Music Radio Creative Live with Mike Russell. Starting in 30 seconds.
right, me old mate, how you doing? I am Mike Russell from musicradiocreative.com. It is fantastic to have you here. I'm so excited. And we're getting to best practices for recording podcast interviews, because I know a lot of podcasters are out there. You could kind of call this a form of podcasting. It's live video podcasting, I guess. But I'm still an audio podcaster at heart. So during this session, we'll go through some audio tips, not just how you get your audio in and what's the best software to use, but also post-processing, making things sound better, especially if you've got guests that use rubbish equipment. So that kind of stuff. Because it's often the case, if you host a podcast and you're not interviewing other podcasters or other people like I do in the voiceover industry, they might not have a TLM 103 microphone. They might not have a Heil PR40. They might well be using their internal microphone and, a set of earbuds. And that's perfectly fine. I'll show you how you can get the best out of that audio in this show. But first of all, I would like to let you know that you can shape the future of MRC Live. We're at a critical stage now. We're over the 50 mark, the 50 episode mark. We've gone way past that now. We're getting close to 100. We're going to be up to 100 episodes easily by the end of the year. Scary to think about that. This has only been going for a couple of months, but it's been going every weekday, so that's why we've done a lot of episodes. But right now is my time where I really would like to ask you for some feedback. I want to make sure that every day when I'm coming on, I'm giving you the best information, I'm serving you the best I can, and essentially I'm basically using our time, because it's our time, it's my time and your time being here, so yeah, you can directly impact the future of this Music Radio Creative live stream that happens daily from 2 p.m. UK time over on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, and everywhere else. So the place you can go to get involved is, well, I posted it up in the community. Direct link is mrc.fm/survey. mrc.fm/survey will take you over here to a short survey. Look, it really is short. It's just one page. That's all it is. It's just a few click and answer questions and then a couple of boxes to type in some thoughts if you happen to have some thoughts, and then just click submit. And that would really help me and you, because it will improve the show. So mrc.fm/survey. That is mrc.fm/survey. Go and fill it out now, or wait till the show's over and fill it out. But whatever you do, please, if you're watching now, fill that survey out. It's very important, and it will make sure that I give you more of the content you want to hear and see, and not just the content I think you want. So it really would help. mrc.fm/survey. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Right, we're going to get into it, and we're going to start off with a few calling options, say if you're getting people calling in to be on your podcast. But I thought I might do this experiment with you if anyone wants to try it, and it's a good excuse for me to play a jingle as well. If you would like to call in to this live stream right now, and you are watching live, the phone line, we've only got one line. It's open now.
415-800 1055.
Add +1 if you're outside the United States. Normal operator charges apply.
musicradiocreative.com.
Okay, so yeah, I'd love it if someone wants to call in. I've got a live phone in the studio. It's done via VoIP, and actually it's quite relevant, so I might show you this. In fact, I will show you this right now. So let's go over to my screen share. If you happen to have a guest that doesn't have Skype or Google Hangouts, or is just a complete technophobe, then you might want to get them calling in via a traditional phone line. And to set up the phone line that I have, +1 415 800 1055, I have a little piece of software running in the background here on my computer. It's tiny. Look how tiny that window is. Oh, and it's ringing. Wow, let's answer it. MRC Live, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hello, Mike. It's Juan from Mexico.
Juan, great to hear from you, and even better to hear from you after the terrible news we've had the last couple of days. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Mike. Now I'm really fine because my family is fine. I'm in kind of shaky, almost. When also, yesterday was not. Yesterday, no. The day of the earthquake was terrible. I was here in Mexico City.
I can only imagine. How was it for you?
I was at the fourth floor of the building.
Goodness.
And started to shake, and so we went running. And the scary thing was that the walls were scratching. I don't know how to say that, and pieces of the wall was falling down, also the ceiling. So we ran until we get out of the building. Right away, I told my wife. She's in Cuernavaca, where it was the center of the earthquake. And she was very scared, but she's all right. My home has some issues, some TV broken and something like that, but nothing human losses. But instead, here in Mexico City, it's terrible.
Gosh, that's awful. So where you are living, Juan, you were directly impacted by the earthquake?
Yeah, in fact.
Goodness me. So... Yeah, I mean, it's great to hear that you are okay and that your family are okay. Really, really scary thing to go through. And crikey, I didn't expect to take a phone call like this at the very start, but it's great to hear.
Sorry.
No, it's okay, and it's great to hear that you are okay as well. So what's the next step for you, Juan? Where do you take things from here? I mean, is it just a case of kind of picking things back up and getting on with it again? I mean, are you involved in any kind of process that's happening right now?
We are waiting for returning to the office because we are waiting for the engineers to check the building, so it is safe or not to come back. Yeah. And I cannot go to my home because the road is blocked, and Gosh. I'm expecting Friday afternoon I can go back to my home to see my wife.
Wow. So where is it that you're located right now then?
Here at Mexico City, there's a place called Polanco here in Mexico City. I have an apartment, and I'm waiting, and we are working by the computer and on the internet in the meanwhile.
Wow. Amazing story. Juan, I'm really pleased to hear that you're okay, and thank you for taking the time to call in. Did you want to speak about anything else, by the way?
No, just to say thank you for your kind words from yesterday, and my respects and my condolence also to Paul Anthony, because I know he has had that hurricane thing. I know the feeling. I was on a hurricane several years ago in the past, and I know how scary is that also.
It's not fun.
Thank you for your support, and thank you for your kind words.
It's a pleasure. Our love, our heart is going out to you here. My heart is definitely going out, and I know Isabella's and everyone here and everyone watching right now will be with you. So Juan, stay safe, and thank you so much for calling.
Thank you, and see you soon.
All the best. Speak to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye. That is Juan calling in. Amazing stuff from Juan on the VoIP phone. So I'll show you how that works in a moment. And I also know, and big love to Juan and his family and anyone else in Mexico City or areas of Mexico that were affected the last few days by that earthquake. I know that Juan is a regular viewer to the show, and not only that, I know he is a fan of Waves audio plugins. And I'm going to get on to Waves Audio just before I complete looking at the VoIP phone here, because we had a question from Anthony just before we went live. What is my favorite Waves Audio plugin? And I will show you something that I think will be good for getting onto topic for podcasters in their post-production, particularly if they're very breathy. Let me record something in to Adobe Audition. Hello. It's Mike here, and I keep taking a lot of breaths. As a podcaster, especially with compression, this can get quite annoying. Now, that's easy for me to do, isn't it? So I'll show you one of my favorite Waves plugins that would be particularly good for podcasters, and it's not my favorite Waves plugin, but it's definitely one of the most impressive. I think, if I had to pick a favorite, it might be something like Morphoda. Let me just show you quickly what Morphoda can do. You can do silly things like this. Hello, it's Mike here, and I keep taking a lot of breaths. So you can make the audio sing, but obviously that's not what I want to do. For podcasting, when you're cleaning up after you've finished your show, if you go into Waves and you get the Deep Breath plugin, which I'm quite a fan of. I'm just going to make this mono because it is a mono plugin. So convert sample type to mono over here. Click OK. And then we'll go into effects, AU, waves, debreath. And waves debreath is fantastic. Let's see if it just works out the box. Might need to just set that back to default. Hello, it's Mike here, and I keep taking a lot of breaths. As a podcaster, especially with compression, this can get quite annoying. And if we pull Hello, it's Mike here, and I keep taking... Let's see, I need to... Hello, it's Mike here, and I keep taking a lot of breaths. As a podcaster, especially with compression, this can get quite annoying. Hello, it's Mike here, and let's see, let's go for the full reset. There should be a way to set this up so it works nicely. It's Mike here, and I keep taking... It's funny. It's really not been my week this week, trying to get plugins and things to work, and they don't work when I'm live. It has been one of those weeks, I can tell you. Hello, it's Mike here. Yeah, Waves Debreath is not working at all for me. I don't know why. Maybe I just haven't set it up correctly, but it is really good when it works. I'm just trying to figure out why it's not working very well. Let me try it here in the effects rack and see if it works any better. Debreath. Here we go. Let's try. Hello, it's Mike here. And no, it's not doing any reduction, even though it's recognizing the breath. It's Mike here. It's not reducing that breath. Let's change the fade in and fade out times. Hello, it's Mike here, and hello, it's Mike here. Hello, it's Mike. No matter which dial I move. Hello, it's Mike. Hello, it's Mike here, and I keep... It's not recognizing. Hello, it's Mike here. When it works really well, I can tell you. I was just about to blow you away. With a great example of Waves Debreath. Don't take into account that as a testimonial. It must be something, some gremlins in the system or something. Oh dear. Anyway, let's get down to it, and let's change the topic onto actually dealing with phone calls and bits into the show. So if you're recording a podcast and you're using Adobe Audition, for instance, and I can see a lot of you saying Debreath is good, so definitely take my word and people in the live chat's word for it right now. It's a great plugin. It really is. What it does when it works is it takes all the breaths out of your speech. They just disappear. So if you're doing an audiobook or if you're doing a long-form podcast and you've got a bit of compression on your voice, it can just take all those breaths out and saves you having to go through in post, editing out the breaths. So for podcasters, one of my favorite and recommended plugins is definitely the Waves Debreath. Oh, I've got another phone call. How do I answer this? Let's have a look. Some reason it's not giving me the ability to answer at the moment. Hang on. Let's try that. No. Okay. No. Nothing. Nothing there. Okay. It's funny, just the technology is playing up on me this week. What can I say? Anyway, back to it. If we are recording into Adobe Audition, you're going to Adobe Audition CC Preferences. You'll find this here on a Mac. If you're using a PC, it might be located somewhere slightly different, and you want to check your audio hardware and audio channel mapping. So, for instance, to record, I use the Soundcraft Signature 12 MTK, which I highly recommend, particularly if you want a mixing desk that can do everything. Then the Soundcraft Signature 12 MTK, and the MTK bit is important. It will give you loads of inputs and outputs. So look at this, all these inputs here. It's got 14 inputs, and it's got, I think, 12 outputs, which is fantastic. You might be using something a little simpler. So the Soundcraft Signature 12, let's just find that on Amazon now, how much that goes for. It's a really, really good mixing desk. Soundcraft Signature 12 MTK. And do get the MTK version because that is the multi-track version with all the inputs and outputs. It's got one customer review of 1 star on Amazon UK. Don't take that into account because it really is very good. Maybe they were just having a bad day. Yeah, must have been having a bad day, because I think it's a fantastic bit of kit. 429 British pounds will help you to set up your mix minuses and anything else you might want to do. Really good desk. It's not that one. That's the huge version. It's that little tiny version, which I have. But you might want to have something simpler, and I have one of these. I have a Scarlett 2i2 as well, and you can set that up to record as your default input and output there. And the Scarlett 2i2 is very reasonable, I believe. 2i2. No, 212. Oh, that's giving me a load of computer fans. 222. 2i2. Let's try that. There you go. Yeah, £112 right now on Amazon. Pretty basic audio interface for recording. Why do you need an audio interface? Well, it's hard to plug everything into the back of your Mac or your PC. So having an audio interface will give you an extra kind of external sound card, as they used to be called, for you to start recording in. So, for instance, now with my audio channel mapping, if I'm using the Scarlett 2i2, I could say, okay, I would like the input to be Scarlett input 1 and 2, and I could hook that up however I wanted. But for instance, let's have a look here. Let's go back to my Soundcraft Signature 12, and I'll set that up. Here we go, like so. And the audio channel mapping, so I could have, for instance, my microphone going in one side. So that would be the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, I could choose to have the audio from the computer, which is going to be channel 9 for me. Now, not all audio interfaces give you the ability to record what you hear from a computer, but this one does. If you don't have the ability to record what you hear, so that's handy if you're recording Skype or Google Hangout conversations, I'll show you another way to get around that in just a moment. But let me start recording, and you'll notice as I start recording right now, my microphone is only on the left channel. Can you see that? Only the left channel is picking up audio. So that would be your podcast audio. This is probably one of the easiest ways to record a podcast interview. Now if I go over to Skype, and let's see if I can call Isabella, bring her into the show to rescue the show. And let me make sure you can see what exactly is going on over here. Let's just drag that there so we can see Isabella's phone call. And I need to check with my Skype audio and video here that, yes, it is going. My mic, as you can see, is coming in via a very clever setup here called Mix Minus Audio.
The person you're trying to reach is currently unavailable.
She's unavailable?
Please leave a message.
Where is Isabella? But you can see, I got the answer phone there, that it's telling me that she's unavailable and she's on the right-hand side. Okay, so I've got audio. Let's stop that now and have a listen. I've got audio from me. Let's have a listen to this. Might need to reroute my audio channel mapping. Oh, there's Isabella. She's calling now. Let's answer just voice only. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, let me start a brand new audio file. You're here to rescue the show. So I'm on the left channel.
I'm here to rescue the show. Woohoo!
Isabella is over on the right, and yeah, a lot of people watching this right now, so very interested in podcast interview techniques. So, Isabella, your audio quality isn't the best, is it?
Well, no. I only use my Mac's integrated microphone, so that there's nothing here.
Okay, let's do a checklist. When we're working with a podcast guest, first of all, are you wearing headphones or have you got your speakers turned up?
I have got my headphones on, so if you would like me to take them out and to use the thingy instead, let me know.
I was going to say, it's very professional of you actually to have headphones on. That's the first tip you must give a podcast interview guest. Please wear headphones. They don't have to be DT770s. They could be just earbuds. Look, I've got actually over here, I've got some, actually I highly recommend these. These are Marley earpieces. Marley, can you see the logo there? Maybe. Bit too close to the camera. They're really, really good. And yeah, get your guest to get some earbuds and pop them in. So Isabella, if you switch over to speaker and take your headphones off, let's listen to the difference now.
Right, hang on a minute. Right, can you hear me now?
Yep. Have you turned the volume up? Oh, yeah, I can hear myself echoing back.
Yeah, you probably will be able to. Hang on, I will turn it down. Can you hear me?
No, turn it up. I want to hear what it sounds like.
All right.
Okay. Oh, my goodness.
Super loud.
So that's very off-putting. So can you hear that? The feedback is coming back. So one of the reasons that you definitely suggest to a guest that they don't do the interview on their laptop with the volume turned up is you will just get that horrible feedback that you heard there. Now, I know you're using a set of nice, very slick Bose speakers there, but say someone was talking to you over their MacBook Pro or a PC laptop or something, you'd get a very tinny, horrible, distorted feedback of your own voice. Not so much the guest's audio quality, but it's more that you as the podcast interviewer would hear your voice coming back on you, kind of delayed, and that would probably put you off, wouldn't it?
It would. Yes, sorry. I was just wondering whether you're asking me or telling the people.
I am kind of having a double header with you today. So.
I'm having a double header. Hang on, let me just put my headphones back on because I can hear you better that way.
Yeah, put your headphones on and be a professional there.
Be a professional. Thanks. Do you want me to turn my video on?
You can turn your video on. I haven't got it displayed at the moment, but actually, while you do that, while you turn the video on, I'm just going to quickly go over and mention some comments because I know it's that time of the show where we like to do these things.
This is Mike Russell from musicradiocreative.com.
And let's go through some of your comments. I can kind of bounce these off you, Isabella. It's like old times when we used to podcast together.
Oh, yay!
Wonderful.
So you need to bring a chair to your studio for me.
Oh, I can see your video has appeared on my screen. So when we go back to screen share, I'll bring your video in so people can see you as well. So just to bring in some comments here, what have we got? We have got Kevin who says, hey, that's a cool song. I love it. Oh, you mean the wonderful... This one. Yes. This is the intro song to the show. And it has to be said, it's a rather good tune. I really like it.
Audio production and more. This is Mike Russell on musicradiocreative.com.
Yes, now just remembered you can't hear it when I play jingles because that's not part of the mix minus. That I'll show you that. In fact, I'll show you that. It's probably a good idea to set up that mix minus correctly. So if we go back to screen share for a moment, just before I go to some more of your comments, I'm just going to go into the screen share mode, and you'll see Isabella as a little icon here. Wonder if I can make you bigger. Can I make you bigger? Or maybe I need to go into Skype itself. Over here. Whoa, now you're huge. Okay.
Oh dear.
That's Isabella. Oh my goodness. Wow, she's massive.
Yeah, I can't see it yet because there is a 20-second delay. So it's like I'm just looking at the screen thinking, oh my God, this is not going to look good.
Yes, hang on. Let me just make you the same sort of aspect ratio as me. There we go. There. We kind of match now. That's good. So there's Isabella. She's there. There she is.
Here.
And it's very exciting. But in a second, I want to switch over to Google Hangouts because I think Skype's okay, but I'm not sure it's the best audio quality. So let's go through. We'll go through mix minus in a minute. But I wanted to tell you, as a podcaster, if you're getting poor quality on your Skype, some things you can do is instead of using wireless internet, go for an Ethernet connection. We are fairly Etherneted up around here at Music Radio Creative. And that's why you'll hear, even though we're in the same building, Isabella's Skype conversation with me is not breaking up. You're not breaking up, are you?
No, not at all.
I haven't heard Skype drop out once.
No, it's fine. Yeah, but then there are days where Skype is better than others. And I think, I mean, we've conducted so many interviews over Skype. And to be honest with you, there was not one instance where something went wrong. So I think it's very reliable. I think that you're okay 99.9% of the time. And I think it really would be more of a matter of just choosing your platform and being comfortable with it rather than just thinking, oh, this is going to be much better quality. Unless you're on ISDN line.
Well, that's it. Different. But the other thing you can do is you can get the guest, if they're technically competent and capable, you can get them to record their side of the conversation. And that's what's called a double ender. So if they record only their side, it's very important it's only their side and not your side as well of the conversation. And as you can see on Adobe Audition, I'm recording only my side of the conversation. Say you had a beautiful microphone plugged into your Mac there, Isabella. You could record it there into Adobe Audition as well.
I have a question question to you, Mike.
Yeah.
Can you show us how to set it up in Audition to record just your side when you connect, say, on Skype? Because I wouldn't know how to do it.
Yes, well, essentially, so that's what I've done here. So as you can see, on the left side, it's recording my microphone, and on the right side, it's recording only Skype. And that is done inside Preferences, and obviously, I can't set it now because I'm recording. If I stop for a second, you'll see if I go into Preferences, Audio Channel Mapping, here, you can select the channel. And there is a way, let me just continue recording, there is a way to actually go ahead and set up any kind of mapped channel you like, and that's using a piece of software from Rogue Amoeba called Loopback. And I think this is wonderful. So Loopback, it can set up virtual devices from your sound card or from your audio interface. So say your audio interface has output channels for what you hear from the computer and output channels for your microphone and bits like that. You can route them wherever you want. So as you can see here, for the live stream audio, I've got channels 13 and 14, which is the master output of my mixing desk, going to live stream audio. So that's everything from my mixing desk is going to live stream. But you'll see here, mix minus audio. This is the audio I'm sending to you on Skype right now. So that's a virtual interface I've created in Loopback that's sending to Skype. And if we look here at the audio preferences for Skype, you'll see the microphone is selected as mix minus audio. I could have it as my internal microphone. I could have it as my webcam microphone, but I've selected mix minus, which is something I've created in this software called Loopback, which I think costs $99 US to buy, but it's very, very handy. Now, you said that you can't hear the jingles when I play them.
No.
If I pull in, now I know my jingles come out on channel 11 on my mixing desk. If I pull that in for a moment to mix minus there, on both sides, even though I think Skype is mono anyway, let's just try and pick it up again. Oh, no, 11 and 12. So I want to put 11 over there, and oh, I can double it up. Okay, so that's just a mono 11. Now, if I play a jingle, let me just play a quick jingle. Let's see if you can hear this.
You had better dance right now, Microsoft.
Yeah, it's there.
Awesome. Awesome. And you see, I did that inside Loopback. So it's a genius piece of software, Mac only, by the way. PC is a bit different. And also on PC, I believe natively there's the ability to record what you hear anyway. But I'm just dragging in outputs from my mixing desk that I know have certain audio mapped to them that I want you to hear. That's the idea of a mix minus. Now, something that would be really off-putting, if I'm going to delete those out now. So you won't be able to hear the jingles. Let's get rid of the other one. So on the right-hand side, that one. Now, if I was to put... Now, I know you're coming in through channels 9 and 10. If I was to put channel 9... Let's try and drag that down. Hang on. Soundcraft signature 9. Now, I'm going to do this only for a little while because you'll suddenly hear yourself feeding back on yourself. So tell me if... speak now and tell me if you hear a feedback down your ears.
Okay. Yes, I can hear myself back.
And that's really off-putting, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, so let me just delete those. Delete. So that is why... let me get rid of the other side. There we go, all gone. Now, back to normal again?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Good. Okay, so that's why it's important to set up a mix minus when you're recording guests, because... If you send the whole output from your mixing desk or from your audio interface to your guest, they are going to hear themselves coming back on themselves. And that's off-putting, isn't it? And you can't speak and you can't focus. But what
you know, Mike, I just had a thought, and I wonder whether there is a difference. You know, like we now have fairly good devices at our disposition, and most of professional people will have a good quality iPhone or Android phone. I wonder, would the quality be better if the call was done even on Skype, but over the phone rather than the main computer?
That's a really good idea.
Do you think it's worth to test that and compare?
I think that's a brilliant idea, actually. Wow. Okay, so, and I've got a feeling...
So would you like me to call you back on Skype from my phone?
You can do. I think that would be brilliant. So shall I hang up on you?
Yes, you can hang up on me. I will not be offended. I will call you straight back.
I'll hang up and I'll get into a few comments while we do that. So that's fantastic. What a great idea. And you know, I've got a feeling, I have a little feeling that it's going to be a little bit better via an iPhone or Android microphone. By the way, you can always call in if you want to get on with me. This is the phone number at +1
415 800 1055.
Normal operator charges apply. And remember,
musicradiocreative.com.
it's like a call to the United States. Isabella's back with me. Hello.
Hello. So how does that sound compared to what I was on earlier?
Yeah, there's a little more hiss. There's definitely more hiss, so we'd need to do some noise reduction, which I can give an example of very shortly. But can you get any closer to the microphone on your iPhone?
I'm literally holding it to my face, so I'm not having it on a loudspeaker or anything like that. It's on my face.
Okay, so the amplitude, yeah. I think the quality is better. There's not so much echo, which is a good thing. Okay. But I can hear some kind of hiss in the background, which I would ideally need to remove. Yeah. But it's not too bad. So, let me shout out a few comments, because I know I haven't got to the comments yet, and we're 30 minutes in. We've got... what have we got here? You got a lot of people wishing Juan well in Mexico. Of course, Juan was on with me earlier on talking about the devastating earthquake in Mexico and how he and his family have been directly impacted. Thankfully, they're safe. But yeah, a lot of people wishing Juan well there in the chat, which is nice to see. It was great to talk to you, Juan, by the way. Michael J says, this is the episode I'm waiting for. Looking good on my TV, says Mark Reed. How do you get audio to play using the mixer by either fader or button push? Generally, I hook a load of stuff into my mixer, and then I just open the faders, and it comes out, and then the master channel I send to the live stream. So that's kind of how I'm routing my audio. What else have we got? I bought a simple audio interface, but could only get Audacity working for recording. Audition didn't work. It should be the other way around, actually, because Audition's audio interface is pretty intuitive and easy to set up. Michael J says, Mike, when recording 4 people in the same room, I'm getting a lot of rear mic pickup, Audio-Technica BPH-S1 and or Shure 57 Beta or Zoom H6. How do you go about cleaning that up in post? Yeah, that's difficult, particularly if you're using like a wide microphone, like a condenser or something, which I know certainly Zooms use condensers, I believe, because they're going to pick up not just your voice bouncing off the walls, but 4 other people from 4 other microphones bouncing off the walls. That's particularly tough to clean up, and it's better if you can position the mics or get people in the right position. So have a play with mic position, because if you can do it before post, that's the best way. But there is a cool plugin. I only had the trial to it, but I was trying it out and it can do magic. So I don't think it's going to work for me anymore. No, I think I uninstalled it, but it's a plugin called, it's from Synaptic, I think. Synaptic, let me look it up. Synaptic Unveil. That's it, Synaptic Unveil. That's the name of the plugin. I haven't got it installed at the moment, but I'll show you the website for it. Here it is. Synaptic Unveil. This is the interface. It's really good at cleaning up like echoes and reverbs and stuff like that. So you might want to look into that as a little plugin to do that. Otherwise, I've made videos on my channel that show you how to clean up like echoey stuff and reverb, so that may well help you. I hope that's of some use to you, Michael. Joe's in. Nice to see Joe there, moderating. The free version of Call Recorder stinks. Barely records whatever's on the other end, but louder records the person with the app on their phone. Call Recorder, not something I've had much experience with, I have to say. There we go. Okay, so let's get back to Isabella. So, yeah, not really digging your quality there, but never mind. In post, we can have a play with that and see what we can do. Isabella, can I call you back on Google Hangouts? Have you got...
Yes, you can.
Awesome.
Hang on, have I got it still open? Yes, I do. You can call me.
Okay,
right.
So let's hop over. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
I'm going to hang up there, and I'm going to go over. I've got Google Hangouts open. I got Isabella here. Let's see if I can make a quick call to her. I think it has to be a video call. Let's just try this. Trying to video call Isabella from Google Hangouts. Okay. Right, we're calling. Oh, it's trying to use my FaceTime camera. Let's see. Can I change it? Manage media settings. No. Okay. Well, you can't see me, but you can hear me. Oh, now, I'll tell you what. Speak for a little bit, please, Isabella.
I will speak for a little bit. What would you like me to say? Anything exciting?
What I will say straight away is this, in my opinion, is the best audio quality we've had via Google Hangouts.
Oh, that's interesting.
Much better than Skype, I would say. I don't know why that is.
Because I think that perhaps all of the different channels, ways to connect, they process both audio and video in different ways, right? So
they do.
You would have differences.
Yeah. I can see Juan saying you can also use just a phone call on Hangouts. So that's interesting. Let me try and, I'm just going to try and hang up on you and call you back by phone call only, see if that's possible.
Okay.
Okay, so let's hang up there. And yeah, I can see that now. Phone call. Let's see. New conversation. Oh no, that's a normal phone call, isn't it? So that's not really what we want, is it? No. Okay. Let's try. So what I can do is if I call Isabella and what I'll do, switch my video off, and then I'll ask Isabella to switch her video off as well, and we'll get a kind of audio-only connection. Let's try that. Aha. Okay. Isabella.
Hello.
Wonderful. Could you switch off your video? It's the icon you see at the top there with the video with a line through it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, got it.
Good, because you're, yeah,
I think better?
It's really good. It was definitely glitching a little bit when we had the video on, but let's hear you speak for a little bit and see how the audio is now.
You've got to ask me some questions, otherwise I will be talking absolute nonsense, Mike.
Okay, Isabella, tell us a little bit about your experience with podcasting.
Wow, such a good question. I love podcasting. You know, I actually miss it. I've been thinking about it recently, and I thought that it would be nice to get back in some way or another and have a good adventure once again.
Awesome. You've been podcasting since when? 2012?
Yes, I think it was 2012, wasn't it? When we started, maybe 2013 for me. But you started in 2012.
Indeed. So that sounds really good. That's the best audio quality so far. So Isabella, I'm going to keep you on the line there because that's a really good connection.
Okay.
I don't know why it's better than Skype, but it certainly feels that way to me. There are other options here. I haven't really tried these out, but I've heard podcasters talk about them. We've got Zencaster here, which seems to be pretty good. You can start recording without any installation needed, and you can record your remote interviews in studio quality. You simply send a link and receive a separate track per guest, which looks pretty good. They do have a free version there. You need to sign up, though. Up to 2 guests, record 8 hours per month. So that might be something to consider. Ringar as well is something I've heard good things about. Again, they have a pricing plan there. $7.99 a month or $18.99 premium US dollars. And Zencast is another one worth looking into.
Can I ask you a question, Mike?
You can, you may. Please do.
Yes. So, you see, why would you choose to pay if you can have a fairly decent quality over free Google Hangouts?
Well, this is good, but I think the thing that Zencastr and Zencastr and Ringar can give you is they can actually record locally on your guest's machine. So from what I understand, the way these apps work is, well, certainly with Zencastr, which I think is one of the most popular used by podcasters, probably because they have a free plan, it gives you a link, a URL, and you send that to your podcast guest. And you say, okay, when we are chatting at 3 p.m. UK time or whatever it is in your local area, I would like you to go to this URL in your Chrome browser and then enable plugins. It probably asks you to, do you want to record this computer's audio? And then it does that. And what it will do is it will record your guest in quality. So there's no glitching or breaking up because it's on their computer. It's not actually going over the internet. And then they get a quality file of them, a quality file of you, stitch it together, and kind of the work is done for you.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So I guess that takes away the quite a lot of different steps within the whole process, and it makes it easier.
Yes.
So yeah, that works.
Definitely does. So definitely something to look into. But now I'd like to look into the post-processing of this audio. So I've recorded quite a lot here. Let's compare now. We've got, this is Skype on Isabella's Mac. Oh, hang on. I'm going to need to reroute the audio because, of course, I was recording there. So let's reroute to channels 7 and 8 here. So let's have a listen to Isabella on the Mac here. Oh, hang on. Actually, I'm going to just take all of Isabella's audio and copy it to a brand new file here. So this is going to be Isabella's side of the conversation, and I'm going to normalize that. So favorites, normalize, and then we'll go back to the recording and take my side of the conversation. So by muting the right channel and unmuting the left, and I'll put that into a new track all of its own over here. There we go. And favorites, normalize. There we go. Now what I can do is I can drag this now into the multi-track. I'll call this podcast. And we've got 6 and 7. And if we line those up, they should fit absolutely perfectly together. Actually, let me start a brand new multi-track. I'm not going to use my MRC presets. Let's call that podcast host. There we go. Right, okay. Now we've got this side and that side of the conversation all together. So Isabella on the MacBook sounds like this.
No, it's fine. Yeah, but then there are days where Skype is better than others.
And then this is Isabella on Skype on her iPhone.
I'm literally holding it to my face.
And then later on, this is Isabella via Google Hangouts.
Wow, such a good question. I love podcasting. You know, I actually miss it.
And what we can actually do is if we go... Can you hear that, by the way, Isabella, when I play those clips?
No, I can't.
Ah, okay. Need to go back to my mix minus then that I was demoing earlier. And if I give you access here to channels 7 and channel 8, you should be able to hear things down the line. Hang on, let's move channel 8 over there. And I'm also going to give you channel 11 in case I decide to play a jingle again. You'll be able to hear that. Channel 11 and channel 12. Shall we just break it up for a second and play a jingle?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Mike, but I think I will need to head out. As you know, 3 o'clock is my time to head out. So,
all right then.
Lovely to be here. Thank you. Bye.
It's been wonderful to have you on. Bye. MusicRadioCreative.com. Okay, that's fine. That's really good. And we've got some great audio from Isabella there. I'm going to get back to your comments, by the way, in 3 minutes. So do please keep commenting and I will get back to them. But I wanted to show you a few things we can do now in post to analyze this audio we've recorded. So what I did is I took the left side, which was the host, and the right side, which was the podcast guest. I'm putting them onto 2 separate tracks now. And what I can do first and foremost is bring up a window here called frequency analysis. And now I can look at the frequencies. If I just solo Isabella, I'm going to look at the frequencies. Let me bring frequency analysis into view for you. Let's pop it up. Oh, whoa. Maybe not quite as harsh as that. Let's undock it and move it. Let's move it over here. Yeah, we can keep it over there. So you can see the frequency analysis window over here. And this is going to analyze all the frequencies of our guest so we can find the best quality.
No, it's fine. Yeah, but then there are days where Skype is better than others. And I think...
All right, so what I was doing there is playing Isabella. And when I found a good piece of her audio, I hit hold on one of these numbers. And it will actually hold that audio no matter now where I go. I've got a print, if you like, of the frequencies coming in from Skype on Isabella's iMac. Sorry, I called it a MacBook Pro earlier, but it is actually an iMac she's using. And as you can see, there are frequencies pretty high in the bass region here, and they tail off, till around, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8. It goes up to about 8 kilohertz and then it drops off completely. So that's Skype via the iMac. Now Skype via the iPhone. Let's do a frequency print of that in a different color, in yellow.
I'm literally holding it to my face.
So again, you can see a very similar profile here. If we look, you can see, but actually hang on, this is interesting. If I play the background noise, now, you remember earlier on I mentioned there was a little bit of hiss, right? When we play Isabella's audio from Skype, there's virtually no hiss. That's the background noise from Isabella on her iMac. But Isabella on her iPhone has all of this background noise here. And you can actually see the frequencies are reduced. So probably at the moment the iMac is winning, but I've got a feeling when we go over to listen to Isabella's Google Hangouts audio, it's going to be slightly better still. So let's record this in pink.
Wow. Such a good question.
Wow. And hands down, Google Hangouts there is the winner. I mean, I'm absolutely stunned at that. Look, all the frequencies in a nice kind of formation as well, right the way up to past 20,000 kilohertz. So you're getting the full spectrum of audio there recorded via Google Hangouts. I had no idea that Google Hangouts was so good, and I had no idea that the audio quality coming in via Skype was actually that narrow in frequencies. I really did have no idea. So if you want a free service to record podcast guests, it looks like Google Hangouts is winning. That's an amazing frequency print there. Thoroughly impressed with that. And I think if Isabella actually had a really good quality microphone plugged into her iMac and was recording like that from her end, I think we'd have a really decent, almost studio quality recording there, which is amazing. So a bit of analysis. I'll show you how to clean up that audio in just a moment, and that's how we'll kind of round off the show for today. But now let's have a look. Loads of comments, and I do apologize. I have not been paying as much attention to your comments as I usually do. So sorry if I have missed out some of your comments. But yes, we've got David here who says, I remember listening to your podcast, Mike, with both of you and love the jingles too. Well, thank you. We always take pride in doing good jingles. That's one thing we love doing. What else have we got here? You look like you're using Wi-Fi. Really? No. Well, one thing I was going to say, use Ethernet if you can, if you're recording guests. But if you have to use wireless, 2.4 gigahertz is what most people are on. But if you've got a router that does 5 gigahertz, you need to be quite close to it for it to work. But 5 gigahertz is actually a better frequency band for you to have your router on if you're close to the router. If you're far away, it's not going to work at all. But just a little pro tip there. But try and go for Ethernet if you can, if you're recording lots of podcast interviews. What else have we got? You can use GoToMeeting, GCFX Radio saying that. Yeah, GoToMeeting's good. I mean, I never really got on with it myself. That is a paid service as well, I believe. If you are calling using the same internal network, then Skype does an internal connection. Interesting. I didn't know that, David. I remember when I was in a Skype call with my brother next door and the internet went, he was still there. Wow. Let's take this call. MRC Live, you're on the air. Who's this?
Good morning, Mike. Tony Hall from GCFX Radio, Jacksonville, Florida.
Hey, Tony, how you doing? And how are you after the terrible hurricane you've had?
Well, doing quite well. People from Jacksonville are quite resilient. The water has receded, and the rebuilding process is underway.
Brilliant. And are you back in your home?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Matter of fact, I'm actually in the studio right now.
Yay. And I know for a fact, Anthony, that you have an amazing looking studio because you have shared a photo with me before of your setup. How many screens have you got in there?
Well, it's changed since I've started doing the video as well, getting ready to go live on Facebook and YouTube, doing our premiere on the Friday. But actually, right now we're using, it takes 4 screens and my laptop to get everything running right. So when I'm watching actually your show, I have 3 screens going.
Amazing. 3 screens and 4 screens when you're streaming. Tell me a little bit, because I know you're live streaming. What has your experience been with live streaming, Anthony?
Well, normally I've just been streaming the audio, so the entire process of going simulcasting audio and video at the same time, it's been a challenge in itself, but we've worked all the bugs out and we've done some trial runs, and so now everything is good to go. So we're just sitting by, twiddling our thumbs and waiting for our debut on Friday.
Nice, nice. What's been your biggest sort of pain or obstacle that you've had to overcome with getting this all set up and working?
I think the biggest obstacle is trying to get the computers and software to do what you want them to do, where say not having too many signals going in one spot and getting an echo. We may not hear it on the studio end, but on the live end, like people listening to Facebook, they were hearing echoes. So we worked that bug out, omitted some things from the chain, added a few other things to the chain, and everything seems to be working perfectly. Using OBS for our video, and all audio is being fed through my soundboard and then going directly into the one computer that we're primarily using to put the audio and video out.
Fantastic stuff. So I bet you're excited for, is it Friday night that you're doing the first stream?
Yes, sir. Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going live, YouTube, Facebook, and we're also, it's like a simulcast because our audio stream will be going on the same way. We're actually going full-blown live, where everything going out to all three sources will be coming from one spot.
Wow. Oh, I'm so excited for you, Anthony. I know the buzz of live streaming. And what exactly is the stream going to be about? Maybe someone who's watching right now or listening now would like to tune into you tomorrow.
Basically what the stream is, well, GCFX is a smooth jazz, smooth R&B, smooth reggae, and soft rock ballads music format. And so Friday from 8 p.m. to midnight, we're only going to do it on Fridays for the simulcast so far. We're going to start out with one guy who just came on board. And then at 9 p.m., I'm not sure if you're familiar with Will Downing. Will Downing will be doing a live show every Friday at 9. And then I'll come on from 10 p.m. until midnight doing what we call Quiet Storm, which is real laid-back, lovey-dovey type music.
Wow. Wow. I'm excited for you, Anthony. Very excited.
So it will be a combination of music and video in the background, things of that nature. Because it's being on Facebook and YouTube, it will give the listeners the opportunity to send in requests via the YouTube chat or Facebook chat.
Oh, so exciting. Well, have fun with it, Anthony. And I really appreciate you calling me today.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Appreciate everything you've done and what you're doing, Mike.
Cheers. Appreciate you, Anthony. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
All the best. Bye-bye. That is Anthony, and he's getting ready to do his first live stream tomorrow. So I'm very, very excited for Anthony there in Jacksonville in Florida. Right, we've got, 9 minutes to go. So, yeah, and I can see Robert is recommending Zoom meeting for recording. But, yeah, I mean, we had some great stuff here with Google Hangouts. Look at that frequency analysis there. But say we want to clean things up. Now, we can't obviously put in frequencies that aren't there, but say if we wanted to make our guests sound better or more at peace with us. So if I've got myself speaking here, let's have a listen. Let's play that back. Hang on. I've got a feeling we need to take that off solo and play. You're not breaking up, are you?
No, not at all.
So the first thing we can do when we finish recording our podcast and we've got all the elements there is select both the waves, and you might have seen me do this before, match clip loudness. This will bring it all to minus 16 LUFS, which is the general loudness standard for podcasting. And once that's all processed, you should find that Isabella and I are at similar volumes, even though you can see the amplitude there on Isabella's clip is louder than my clip. Let's have a listen now. Up, are you?
No, not at all.
And I see that Isabella's peaking at minus 6. Up, are you?
No, not at all.
I haven't heard Skype drop out once. And I'm peaking at about minus 6 as well, which is perfect. So if you're ever worried about levels, quickest way is right-click, match clip loudness. Works really well. Now, like I was saying, you cannot put frequencies in. Let's just get rid of those recorded frequencies for the moment and focus on this.
No, not at all.
I haven't heard Skype drop out once. So you can hear, obviously, when I'm speaking, not breaking up. The full spectrum there is covered, and that's quite a nice looking analysis there. But then when Isabella comes in, very much less. Now, you can do one of two things here. You can go through and use something like the parametric equalizer to start bringing the best frequencies out of Isabella's voice, recorded via Skype, just by using little notches here, bringing them up and making it small. So here we go.
No, not at all.
I haven't heard Skype drop out once.
No, not at all.
I haven't heard Skype drop out once. So you can go through and you can basically EQ. You can change the width of these notches so you can make them wider if you want. But as you can see here, in the real-time analysis as well, anything above sort of 8 kilohertz is pretty much non-existent. You can also add on a high-pass filter as well, because again, there's not much reason for you to have anything below 100 hertz.
No, not at all.
I haven't heard Skype drop out. And you can.
No, not at all.
You might want to just pull in or take out mid-ranges.
No, not at all.
Just to make it sound more human.
No, not at all. No, not at all.
But parametric EQ will easily help you to make your guest audio quality a little bit better. You can go through and add stuff like noise gating, and I know that Adobe Audition is going to make it much easier to apply a noise gate coming in the next release, which I believe is due before the end of the year of Adobe Audition. It includes, actually, it's a legacy compressor from Adobe Premiere Pro that is now hard-coded straight into Adobe Audition. And the best thing about it is it had a really cool noise gate. At the moment, you have to set that up with dynamics processing, kind of like this.
No, not at all.
I haven't heard Skype drop out once. So as you can see, when Isabella is not speaking, that noise gate kicks in there. This is a simple noise gate. If you want to set one up yourself, you can always do it by clicking noise gate at 20 dB and just moving this down. The further to the left you bring it, the less aggressive the noise gate is, and the further to the right, the more aggressive the noise gate is. So when Isabella's not speaking, this will be red, and when she speaks, the gate will open. Isabella's Skype conversation with me is not breaking up. You're not breaking up, are you?
No, not at all.
I haven't heard Skype drop out once.
No, it's fine. Yeah, but then...
Yeah, so having a noise gate can also help to reduce any kind of background noises. But also, I did want to go into noise reduction on Isabella's Skype call via the iPhone, because we did notice there was quite a lot of hiss. Let's wait for that bouncing beach ball to stop. If I just go and normalize a little bit of the silent speech from Isabella. That's quite a lot of noise coming through Skype, isn't it? Let's see whether... I don't think it was that bad when we were recording via the iMac. The best way to find out is to normalize a quiet spot and play it back. Still a bit of white noise. I wonder how much noise was coming through Google Hangouts. Normalize. That's actually a lot better. Again, I'm saying Google is hands down the winner. But I did notice the noise was most noticeable on Isabella's iPhone Skype call. So what we do, really easy way to get rid of the noise here. Find a little bit of silent audio here, and then effects, noise reduction, capture the noise print. Click OK to that, and then just on this bit, I'm going to go into effects, noise reduction process. And we should see, we can go for the default view here. There we go.
I'm literally holding it to my face.
And then switch it off. It is making a difference. It's definitely making a difference. Let's go into preview and see if we can spot that difference. Let's go to mirrored view here and zoom right in. So as you can see, the noise reduction is working, and we can turn the noise reduction up a little bit more to have more of an impact. And yeah, if you look carefully at the top here, you can see lots of purple specks, which is all the noise in the background. And down here, it's gone rather black, which means the audio has been reduced. So apply that noise reduction and play it back.
I'm literally holding it to my face. So.
Which is much better with the noise. So you can hear the noise. If you listen carefully, you can hear the noise drop off. Did you hear that? So that's noise reduction in action. Another thing about Skype on the iPhone is the compression isn't really that good. If you look at a waveform from, if we go back to on the iMac, there's some amazing compression on that voice. It's all very compressed and at the same level, whereas the iPhone recording is a more dynamic kind of sound, but we can fix that with something like the single band compressor. Again, yeah, -21 or 20 threshold, 3:1 ratio, short attack time, maybe a slightly shorter release time as well, and click apply. And you can see how that's affected it and fattened that up.
I'm literally holding it to my face, so I'm not having it on a loudspeaker or anything like that. It's on my face.
So there you go. Nice way to end, isn't it? With Isabella talking about her phone being on her face. Lovely. Right. Thank you so much for all the comments, by the way, during the show today. I really apologise that I haven't had more time today to pay attention to the comments coming in, but I really appreciate, in particular, the moderators such as Joe and David and Isabella being in there as well, helping out with moderation of the comments. If I did not get round to your comment, I sincerely apologise. It's been one of those fast-moving shows today, and kind of one of those weeks, technically speaking. I don't know if you have those weeks occasionally, but I'll be absolutely honest. It's been one of these weeks here at the MRC studios this week. So if the content is a little bit below what you usually expect, I apologise for that. I'm going to work on making it much better for next week. But yeah, doing my best to keep it sounding great for you. Really appreciate the calls from Anthony and from Juan, both in recent troubled spots, Mexico City and Jacksonville in Florida. So glad to hear that you guys are safe. Let's continue the conversation. Keep it going over at community.musicradiocreative.com, and you can help to shape the future of this live stream. I would really appreciate it if after this show you would go to mrc.fm/survey, fill out a very short survey, and let me know your thoughts on how you'd like the show to go forward in the future. So mrc.fm/survey is the place to go.